Hello guys, it's Ilya Red here, and today I want to discuss Tier 5 and Tier 6 Super Test Light Tanks. I'm just going to run over their stats and yeah, we'll discuss it on the way. So first, Tier 5 Light Tanks. These light tanks will be balanced as Tier 5 tanks, so as Tier 5 mediums, so they will get into Tier 5, 6 and 7 battles. And the first tank here is AMX ELC Beast, which will have 320 hit points, because the light tanks of Tier 5 will no longer be balanced one tier higher. They will get all their hit points reduced, so it will have only 320 hit points. Same thing stays here, I think no changes, same view range, and this is the stock gun, which will now be a top gun. And the latest news are that the AMX ELC will keep also its 90mm gun, and I just got its stats I think an hour ago or so. The gun will have the 90mm gun with 240 alpha damage, will have 0.38 accuracy as it has now, will have 2.9 seconds reload as well, so it also stays the same. The reload time will increase from 12 seconds to 14 seconds. Yeah, that's a lot. And the penetration of the 240 alpha gun will be 120, which, yeah, is definitely enough to fight Tier 5 tanks, also enough to fight Tier 6 tanks, and should be enough to fight Tier 7 tanks, but we can always use 170 penetration of Gold Round in case we get to Tier 7 battle and need so badly to penetrate, and we mustn't have any even chance for not penetrating enemy. Yeah. So all in all, AMX ELC Beast was rebalanced into Tier 5. Yeah, pretty fine, I can't say anything bad about it. T-50, the former Tier 4 Soviet light tank, which was a light tank only nominally, because what it actually was a shit tank. And it actually stayed a shit tank. Just look at this, view range of 330 meters. It stayed the same as it was on Tier 4, but even on Tier 4 that wasn't enough. Just look at this, AMX ELC has 360, and we didn't even get to Chaffee yet, because, yeah, you'll see why. 330 meters, this guy will be fighting against Tier 7 tanks. Well, it does now as well, I think, but yeah, it was a shit tank, it will be a shit tank, because even the blindest tank destroyers, like Su-152, the Tier 7 Soviet tank destroyer, has the same view range, and also it plays with binoculars. You know what? I want to find the developers who were balancing the T-50. I want to force them to play T-50 against M24 Chaffee. I want to have a look at that. The person who did this to this tank, which is basically did nothing to this tank, which was shit at Tier 4 and will be now even more shit at Tier 5, yeah, I just have no comments about it. The only little good thing about this whole change is that the tag tree of the Soviet light tanks got more logical. So we have a light tank on Tier 4, we will have a light tank on Tier 5, a light tank on Tier 6. Because before that, we had a light tank on Tier 4, a medium tank on Tier 5, and again a light tank on Tier 6. So that's kinda a good thing about it. But we still have the same problem with the Chinese tag tree, where we have a light tank on Tier 4, medium on Tier 5, and light tank on Tier 6. Yeah, but this just doesn't have to do anything with the stats of the tank. You could have done it way better. Come on, give it a view range of 370. This tank deserves something. Look at this. Accuracy 0.4, penetration of 85, damage of 70. Yeah, the reload just 2 seconds, but come on, it can hardly penetrate on the move, I bet. This accuracy doesn't let you shoot, yeah, well, anyone pretty much. An aiming time of 2 seconds means that the total aiming time, which is different from the aiming time which you see in the gun stats, will be actually longer than the reload of the tank, probably. I think so. which means that you won't be able even to fire on large distance without needing to aim longer than you actually reload. So you have to wait after reload till you aim fully to fire, and with .4 you will probably miss, or you will hit some harder part of your enemy and won't penetrate it with just horrible 85mm of penetration and 120 with gold round. Well, AMAX CLC has 130 with gold round, but at least it has 110 with the standard round here, not even mentioning 120 with a 90mm gun, and most players will be using that gun, I think. Okay, let's get to Chaffee, the tank I want the developers to play against on T50. Again, lowered health pool, but it's okay. Same thing everywhere. Just look at this. It did have 390 meters as a tier 5 light tank now, and it got against tier 6, 7, 8. And will have 390 meters view range against tiers 5, 6, and 7. Can you imagine a tank with 390 meters on the tier 5 and get their optics, get their ventilation, get their Brothers norms, and what else? Get their food, get their cola, and if you make it all to the max, you will have view range. I think 390 turns into 495. Imagine that kind of view range on the tier 5 battle. I mean, yeah, it will be just, it's so overpowered. I mean, no matter what kind of gun this tank is, and it has the gun just what it was, it doesn't matter, its view range is so superior. It just, even if you don't have all these Brothers dumps, all that stuff, even just with optics, come on, like T50 won't spot Chaffee at all, because Chaffee will spot T50, Chaffee will fire at T50, Chaffee will destroy T50, and T50 won't even be close enough to spot M24 Chaffee. That's just so stupid. But look at this, look at this. That's the general tendency of what the developers do to the guns of light tanks. I have no idea why light tanks are supposed to have so bad accuracy. But with a good aiming time, actually. That's American stabilization, I think. Probably the reason is that the light tanks are supposed to be on the front line, and for them, gun is more like for self-defense rather than for sniping purposes. So let's move on to Leopard. This is a Leopard with the, with 3cm MK103, the autoloader gun, put it simple. So let's see if there is something interesting. Well, not really. 60 kilometers an hour, okay. .46, which is alright for such an autoloader, but with a good aiming time. So you kinda stop, you aim, and then you like, which doesn't differ from what we currently have. Well, the penetration in these new conditions is, well, that's weird. Just look at this. Penetration 95, 110. It's really weird that the penetration of standard rounds and premium rounds differs so little. I mean, what I would do, maybe... Oh, look at this. We have even high explosive autoloader of this caliber. Come on, that's funny. Like, what's the purpose of this? I would make the penetration of this maybe 125. There has to be some difference, you know, because in such situation, probably if you don't penetrate with AP rounds, you probably also won't penetrate with APCRs as well, because their difference, well, it's not so significant. But overall, I think, well, it's still, this tank is still more about view range and not about the gun, although maybe, yeah, against tier 5 actually this tank can actually give quite some shit to some players, to some tanks, sorry. Well, yeah, I would say it's a buff for Leopard, because it wasn't such a great light tank. Yeah, it was fine, but it wasn't great due to its, rather mediocre gun at the battle tiers which it was in. But in 5 through 7 battle tiers, well, this gun maybe okay. At least in tier 5 battles, and probably in tier 6 as well. That's fine. Or the alternative gun with 100 and 130 penetration. yeah, accuracy 0.39, aiming time good. Yeah, this gun, I would play with this gun instead. It's kind of more stable. You can have stable damage of 70, not much. I think who else had 70? Oh yeah, this terrible thing had 70. And this guy has 2 seconds reload, and this guy has 2.3 seconds reload. But it's kind of paying for it. It's better view range and yeah, accuracy. What was the accuracy here? 0.4. Here it's 0.39, so the same. It has a good aiming time. Well, I would prefer this tank still. Even though it has a longer reload, well, the gun is just more comfortable. And the penetration 100, 130, and here it's 85. I'm still shocked about it. It's just okay. M7 was finally rebalanced to a light tank because it was actually a light tank, and finally it will get its light tank status. So let's see what's interesting here. 380 meters view range. That's good. That's really good. That's more than most of the light tanks on tier 5. I think only Chaffee has more, but Chaffee is completely overpowered with its view range. I mean, not the tank is overpowered, but its view range is just so supreme compared to others. And M7 is actually very good as well. 60 kilometers an hour, that's good. Damage penetration. Yeah, that's kind of a gold ammo I was talking about. So that's 92 and that's 127. At least it does make sense to have this kind of gold ammo, which will penetrate more. Okay, reload, accuracy and aiming time. I would say this tank is actually not that bad. Maybe it's a reason to play this tank finally. Because so far it's a so-so tank. And the problem is that when it's medium tank, it has a worse camo on the move. And then when this tank gets finally the camo bonus on the move, just like other light tanks, because light tanks have the same camo while stationary and on the move, this tank will actually be quite good. Like, just looking at these stats, I like it, I have to say. So that's basically it for tier 5 future light tanks. Yeah, they all seem quite fine, although I don't like these inaccurate guns they will have, and yeah, T50 was shit and will be shit.